So Shabazz, tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you and what's your company about?
Awesome. Thanks for asking that. And first of all, thank you so much for having me on this video call. So looking forward to sharing some great insight with you. My name is Shabazz. We actually got into construction about 16 years ago. So I've pretty much been doing this since my high school days. And we've been a part of renovation from the ground up. So we started with countertops, then we went into custom kitchens, the renovations. We expanded our resources, went into home additions, extensions, and all the way down to custom build. And now we're doing like land assemblies, custom builds, and all sorts of projects from residential to commercial.
Wow. So question for you. So clients who are looking to build their own custom home, do they come to you? You're the guy?
Absolutely. So there's many ways to start. So first, there will be approaching a real estate agent such as yourself who would be qualifying the right lot property size for them. And then once you do have a property of interest, you'll bring it to our attention. We can get our architects and engineers to look at the zoning, what's permitted, how much of value we can build for them, and what type of property, as long as it fits their family needs and wants.
Yeah, no.
And then from there, yep.
So all over Ontario?
Right now we specialize in GTA, but I'm very confident we will be stretching Canada-wide.
So everyone, so in the upcoming weeks, myself and Shabazz, we're going to be doing a seminar weekly, and we will be going through, starting from the top, DIY projects that you can do at home. But we're also going to graduate to the process of building your own home. I mean, I know that, you know, we're so sorry that this COVID-19 is happening, but a lot of people do have, you know, questions like how would they
Absolutely.
Is it cheaper right now to even build a home versus purchase a resale home? Like what makes sense? So I think that we just want to give you guys as much information as possible on where to start and where to go and how much does it cost. A lot of people think it's like mad expensive to build your own custom home, right?
It is, depending on how you start. It's pretty funny because sometimes we get clients who have their own architect or they have already developed the plans because they want to kind of save money in getting directly with the architect. But it's the funny part is architects and engineers, their job is to put everything on the permit that will get approved by the city immediately. So they don't really go back and do the necessary research in how they can replace some of the products to reduce the cost for the homeowner, because just for conversation's sake, they will put TGIs or metal beams that are the most expensive one that they know the city will improve. But when we work with clients, we actually do the due diligence initially, and we remove some of the items from the permitting part. So we don't even need to incorporate such cost because there's just the similar performance products that we can utilize, and that will save a lot of clients money in the build. So it's just working with the right team. And you of course know that because you're in real estate, and the number one thing you guys focus on is team building. So when you have the right team, you save a lot of money because you don't pay for the lessons in life.
Well, yeah, when you have the right team, that's key, right? Because then it's cheaper to get the right team than
yes.
to get the wrong team and have to do it all over again. So
yeah, and we've seen that a few times. It's happened. Yeah, we ran into some clients who have had some projects and they've been redoing some of the things, and it's painful for them and for us to see that. So yeah, I definitely recommend research. Absolutely. And what you're doing is awesome because you're sharing all the knowledge. So it kind of gets the clients ready and informed. And this way we can help them make the right decisions.
Thank you. Well, I guess my whole thing behind doing this is I have like lots of friends and family. Obviously, everyone's home. We're all in quarantine. And spring, it's no secret. Spring is definitely the time to sell or buy or remodel your home if you're looking to put it on the market. So I figured, you know, after this, there are going to be a lot of changes in the real estate market. So why not give people a running start on how to get their home prepared if they're looking to sell. If they're not looking and they just want to do home projects, I just want something that we can give people so that they can come out of this simple, easy, do-it-yourself project that they don't need to break the bank for. So what are some things that you suggest off the top?
So what I've done is I've created a list of 10 items that you could pretty much start off with having no past experience, and it will be something that you could replace just in case you made a little bit of tiny mistakes along the way. So, so the first one is what you and I initially discussed was decluttering. I
Mhm.
think before we start adding things, the best way to start is to start removing all the unwanted items in the home. So I would initially start with closets, garage, any storage spaces that usually we just put a lot of boxes and all the stuff on top of boxes, and nobody really goes back and visits those places. So
Yeah.
I think what I would do is I would actually start with those areas. First, remove every item that doesn't need to be there, and then finding items such as IKEA or Amazon or anything else that provides smart storage spaces. So you can even go to like Dollarama, buy like $2 baskets, $5. It doesn't really have to be a costly procedure, but you can go and initially just invest a little small amount of money in getting yourself some organizational hardware. And this way, all your items to start to get pretty much organized in one single space. So you can have all your kitchen hardware, all your cleaning hardware, all your tools and your equipment and all your dishes or whatever it is that you have piled up over the years. Because one thing we know is nobody has enough storage space, no matter how much storage you have at home.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Like there are people who have 600 square feet condos. I have one. And it's like I feel like there's so much everywhere. I don't know where to put anything.
Yeah.
No, honestly, like
So
I don't know where to put
yeah, the first thing I would do is I will start with the most used areas. The first area I would go into is your bathroom.
Okay.
So most of us, we always have 3 to 4 different types of shampoos and shower gels and all kinds of items. So initially, just buying something that organizes all your personal hygiene. Then
Yeah.
I will go and get some items for your cabinetry. So just install some sort of baskets, just like I mentioned a little while ago, and just organize everything in there.
Yeah.
The second thing you can actually start in a home that's very inexpensive is just to change some of the plumbing fixtures. Like you can go into your shower and go to Home Depot or buy inexpensive new shower heads, such as like the rain shower heads or something. It actually changes and enhances your experience
Yeah,
dramatically.
it does enhance the experience. It
Yeah.
definitely does. And a lot of people don't know that they can change their shower head. I actually
It's
didn't
like
know.
this.
Yeah. No, honestly, I learned that like 2 years ago. My aunt has so many nice shower heads, and she has one that like checks the temperature of her home, like when the water
Beautiful.
is right. I'm like, yo, how did she get that? And she's like, obviously, just go to Walmart, go to Canadian Tire.
Yeah.
It's like mad cheap, and I didn't realize that's something you can do,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it
There's
breaks
one that I
your
have.
home, your washroom so much.
Oh, it changed, and even your shower, it just gets better.
Yeah,
You enjoy it more. I
yeah,
have one because I'm a big fan of music. I don't know. I like music and noise everywhere I go. I feel like life is in a rhythm all the time.
yeah.
So I have one from Kohler. I got it, I think, for like $75, but it has a Bluetooth speaker that goes in my shower head.
I didn't know
So
that you can get a shower head with a Bluetooth speaker.
yeah,
That's so cool.
Kohler. So Kohler has it, and it's just for $75. You charge it, you put the speaker, you connect your Bluetooth. When I go shower, I can play my personal development videos. I can put my music on or whatever,
Yeah.
and have a great shower,
Oh
and
my
it's
God, I'm
fun.
gonna go online. Send me the link. Send me
I
the
will.
link for the picture of it because I'm gonna actually share it with with my friends on Instagram right now. I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. So you can give me some information about the bin, right? Because you said that, of course, if you're decluttering a house versus a
Yep.
condo, you probably want to get one of those big storage bins, and people
Yep.
are using that, and it is facilitated where someone can come pick it up, right?
Absolutely, yeah. There's while I'm talking to you, I had an idea that ran through my head. Every single person, of course, because we're all using the same facilities, there's a lot of interior garbage disposal that actually can get installed inside your cabinet. Because sometimes you don't really need to have the bin exposed. And if you go on websites like Richelieu's, or I can provide you a few different links, you can actually order something right online, get it shipped, and all you got to do is remove some screws, install a few more screws, and you can get a pull-out garbage bin right in your bathroom or your kitchen. And it's a very simple task to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and something else that I recently learned, I don't think people know this, is you don't really need a water filtration system because Amazon sells like a water filter. It's kind of like a Brita thing, but it's for your shower.
Oh, excellent. I didn't even know that. So
Yeah.
send me the link for that one.
My hairdresser told me that because I would always say, "Oh my God, my hair, it needs like a softener in the water." Because condo, I guess living in a condo, the water is more harsher. I don't know why that is.
It's because in condo, the building code requires all metal piping as opposed to so much of the ABS that's used in residential, because the component and the drainage and the drain pipes are a lot thicker and larger. And
Yeah.
because if they have some sort of a defect, it's going to run into multiple floors. So they want to ensure the least amount of plumbing leaks, because it creates a big disaster for a lot of tenants. So they use metal, so which means that you're getting a lot more rust and iron and a lot of more chlorine and everything in your water every single day.
Yeah.
So that's one part of it. The second thing, it's which is an easy thing to do for homeowners, not so much for condo owners.
I would say to people who want to paint their door,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you get the right paint. Because no one
Yes,
wants a jacked up door. Like, no one wants a door that looks like watered down. So make sure you get the right paint. Tap in with us and we'll be able
absolutely.
to give you the right type of paint to paint your door.
Yes. Now, for homeowners who are going to be painting the door for the first time or who are painting, normally the process of applying the primer first, then applying the first coat, then the second coat gets a little bit tedious. So if they do want to save a little bit of time and money, what they can do is they can make the process easier by going to a good paint store like Benjamin Moore or Sherwin-Williams or even Home Depot, wherever their preference is these days, but they can get the paint and primer all in one. So this way they have less applications and they get the job done a lot faster.
Yeah.
Which will be really good.
Yeah. Be careful with that one because that's like dyeing your hair the wrong color with box dye.
Yeah.
Like a female
So
analogy.
so the main thing, a lot of people, what they do is they can actually use a little bit of bolder colors in order to stand out. But I would recommend if they could match closer to their garage door or to their exterior finishes, just so it doesn't look like it's someone else's door that you brought to your home.
That's such
And
a
that,
great tip. Thank you for that. Because a lot
yeah,
of
no
people
problem.
will want to put like a white door or like a black door, and then
Right.
they have brick out, like brown brick, and then
Yep, and it doesn't complement.
no, not
Yeah.
cute.
So matching something to do with your either your window coverings, because that's exposed from the window trimming, garage doors, or something with the exterior landscape, any one of those components that are complementary, you can bring in a color, but a little bit bold. You can be within the same family. Like you can do different type of blues. If you normally have gone and selected paint, you see you get like a group of paint. That's called a family. So within the same family, some could stand out in bold and some could be the lighter part, but get one of the family colors and then make it matching something to one of your exterior finishes already, so it doesn't look like an outsider. It looks like a complementary product.
It looks like it's part of the family.
Exactly.
Okay.
and and another simple thing that they could do in order to feel really like a small little difference is a lot of homes, and because you're in real estate and you normally travel to home, I'm very confident that sometimes you have a really hard time finding the number on the house, because not everybody puts the house number in the right format. So the easy thing that they could do is get a new number, either that lights up or is cursive or something that's unique. So get a new paint color on the door, change the home phone number, like the number, and even the mailbox. Those are like three simple things that anybody could do that'll just spruce up the whole exterior right away.
To be honest with you, that's one thing I've noticed going visiting so many houses. I've noticed so many creative number signs and
Yes,
so many creative mailboxes. They're so cute, but typically when you see a really fancy number sign and you enter the home, it's pretty nice decor inside as well.
absolutely. Because it speaks about your personality, right? How you showcase the outside is how people expect you to live on the inside.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
it speaks a lot.
It does.
And actually the funniest thing is some people that have the entrance like the foyer, they can, and some people have the sunroom, like the sunroom that's built outside. You can actually get like a small shoe rack, because most of the home visitors, they put the shoes everywhere. You must have noticed that. So I think having a little organized section would be something to just clean up, and maybe like a new mat in that section would just spruce up, and a
Yeah.
small light. So
So
just to
they don't need to break the bank here. They can go to Walmart. Honestly, I think
right
people
away, yeah.
Walmart, but right now Walmart is like
Scary? Amazon. I'll do Amazon right now.
People's lives, okay? Like Walmart, I feel like I'm at the mall when I'm at Walmart.
Yeah, these days Walmart is scary.
And I've been finding like so many cute things in Walmart. And I'm like, wow, like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
So
but
they
these
can
days
get
it's
a lot of
there.
cool stuff at Walmart. Now, I want you to dispel a myth for me. A lot of homeowners, either condo or regular like resale homes, semi-detached, regular homes, they think that you have to do the kitchen, you got to get the basement done, and the bathroom needs to be done in order to sell this home. And if it has not been spruced up for the past 4 years, they will not get the value for that property.
That it
True or
deserves.
false?
True to an extent. It depends because some homes, even if you renovate the kitchens, will only provide you X amount of value back. So say if you spruced up, it's a townhome. Townhomes, you can't spend way too much money because you have a very competitive market because every other home is just like yours. Detached home have a little bit more flexibility because some homes have a few little bit more square footage than the others and a little bit of shift in design. So that creates a little bit more openness. But I would say the reason why those rooms fall into the highest value is because those rooms are the most complicated rooms when we're building homes.
Yeah.
So bedrooms, hallways, open areas, they're just very generic. They require flooring, walls, lighting, you're done. But when you come to a kitchen, you got 20 different cabinetries that need to function, all the water systems, the drainage, all your appliances, your hood, your stove, and then all the lighting and backsplash and your countertop and all your hardware and your china and everything that needs to sit there. So it gets a little bit complicated, but I would say it's a very easy way to kind of save money. You can just resurface, repaint, change just the countertop and the backsplash, maybe add some new lighting. It'll just spruce up the whole thing right away. So it just depends on the budget. I will focus on the budget first.
So when you say resurface, what does that mean to you? Well,
resurface.
What does it mean to the average do-it-yourself home project maker?
So for cabinetry, it gets a bit complicated because it's a complex product. So if you want to do anything, I would start with maybe the backsplash, because backsplash is something a homeowner can do with their family, and it could be done within a 2-day period. And it's a really fun task to do.
And
it's
Sinead, you can buy the peel-off backsplash, right?
Yes, you're so smart. Absolutely.
For all those condo owners out there, yeah, you can buy the peel-off ones. And like
absolutely
nice peel-off ones too. They look like marble granite quartz.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the second thing you can also do is, if you have noticed, you can actually buy some of the sensor lights that you can put into some of your cabinetry. So if you actually open the door, maybe it's nighttime or something like that, you can open up the door. And because the sensor, they could just be battery operated and they just turn up the light. So it becomes a lot more functional for maybe a little bit elderly, I would say, age group, as opposed to the younger ones. But there's also, since you talked about the peel off, one of the items on my list was removable wallpaper. That's something a homeowner can have fun doing.
What do you think about removable wallpaper? What do you think? Is it?
I don't think it's risky.
Do you think it's tacky, or do you think, do you think?
I think wallpaper needs to be used in a less is more is where the wallpaper will fall into. So you don't really have to do the whole room and create like a very dramatic scene. You can just pick one wall where the wallpaper needs to just left to right, top to bottom. And it's something you can peel off just in case, because if it's a homeowner, it's the instructions are very helpful. Also, YouTubing 1 or 2 videos prior to installing the wallpaper would be a great task to take beforehand. And I think a wallpaper peel off would be a great thing that they could just add in maybe a powder room, because that's one of the rooms that the guests visit all the time. And it's for some reason every builder builds the smallest powder room in the house. I don't know why. So talking about the paint, let's just start off where we were. So I recommend going to a good paint supplier. Benjamin Moore and Sherwin-Williams are always the homeowner's first preference. Mm-hmm. And they provide the high quality paint. So Regal is one of their brands, which is one of the better paint brands that each supplier has. So it's funny because each paint supplier has different brands and qualities. So if you're going to paint any surface that's exposed to the exterior, spend the extra dollars, because exterior, because we live in a very extreme temperature, either cold, warm, snow, rain. So there's a lot of acids that come up. So just buy a really good paint that could withstand the color and less peeling, so you have less maintenance over time.
Yeah. We definitely have issues with snow, right? So we want to make sure that whatever you're painting your house as, it's like protected.
Yep. That's one good thing about a custom home. Once you build it, we can actually put the radiant heating inside the driveway, and you never have to shovel.
That's like everyone's goal, a custom home.
Yep.
No, so moving right along, when it comes to renos, you mentioned kitchen. What about bathroom?
Bathroom, there's a few things that some homeowners can do just depending on their experience with the tools. If you do want to do something, you can replace the shower door, because if it exceeds your expertise and you have maybe the curtains, the shower curtains or whatever, it's a good facelift just to change all the shower curtains, get all the new holders for all your shampoos, your shower gels, everything like that, and provide some sort of a new feeling in it. Also, you can also go to a brand called Richelieu. They provide all cabinetry hardware. So you can order all types of organizers for your drawers. I know females love their makeup and all kinds of like 100 things that males don't understand what they're for. But but I know you need a lot of storage space.
Like it says lipstick, it says eyeliner, it says
Yes.
mascara.
Absolutely. So you can get some organizational items that you could just put inside your cabinet, and just having a small little organized section right away, first thing in the morning or last thing at night, because that's when we visit the washroom the most. Because when we wake up, we got to get ready, and when you're going to bed, you got to get ready. So those are two things that will simplify and just bring a lot of organization and simplicity to your life. So it'll be a good way to create a small enjoyment right away.
Okay, that's really good advice. I love that. And condo owners. So a lot of condo owners, myself included, I'm decluttering. And then you're going like a little bit stir crazy because you feel like you're in one space, so you want to switch it up. So what can you do as a condo owner to maximize not only on space, but jazz things up a little bit for your condo?
You ever seen those floating shelves that are installed on the wall?
I love those. Where can
So
I get
I think you can order some on IKEA. IKEA is a great place. They sell them, and it's really easy to install because IKEA provides you the instructions, because their items are based for a homeowner to install. So I will go to IKEA, get some wall shelving, because this is space that you never used before. And you can dress it up. You can put some beautiful pictures of you and your loved ones. You can put a few different like decors, some
and it's
books.
sturdy, right? Like it's not gonna like drop.
No, absolutely not. As long as you follow the instructions.
I'll be calling you to help me install it.
Yep. So you can do that, and you can also organize some of the books in order to showcase, because when somebody comes to your home, it expresses your personality. It shows people who you are. So I think using some wall spaces to kind of express your personality more would be a great way to express yourself, and it doesn't take any more space.
That's true. That's true. That's definitely true.
For kitchens, there's a really easy way to that's not costly, is to change the kitchen hardware. So you can change all the door handles and the doorknobs.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's true.
Yeah.
I have a lot.
For the window covering, it's a really inexpensive item to do, and you can actually do it quite frequently. I have a few designers who are some of my good friends, and they actually change the home decor based on the season. So once it's fall, they just uplift, they change some of the window coverings, they'll change some of the cushions on the couches, and right away it changes the whole personality of the home within a couple of hours, and it doesn't cost a lot. And once you buy all these items, you can actually just store them in the storage until the next season arrives. And because you're shifting them quite often, they'll always feel new. Right, so the second thing we discussed was the wallpaper. So if we can get them to get the removable wallpaper that they can utilize, and
make sure to get removable wallpaper. No one wants cupcakes in the wall when you're selling that house, okay?
Yeah, and wallpaper is it's a very like skilled task if you're getting the proper one, because some of the experienced installers are not even up to par. So Wallpaper is almost like a dying art, to be very honest with you. It used to be in fashion back in the day, and then it wiped out, and then now it's taking the space again. It's coming back.
So I had this listing, and it was a penthouse on King Street. The owners owned the penthouse for 25 years. I want to say 25 years. And 25 years ago, they installed wallpaper, okay?
Yep.
On this one wall, and it was the most beautiful penthouse. It had like glass staircase, like very nice and tactfully done. But they could not find someone skilled to remove that without it being like thousands of dollars. So they left it on. And we listed the property. And the number one reason why it did not sell was
the wallpaper.
The wallpaper was tacky. So I'm not saying like wallpaper is tacky if you have it, like I don't mean to offend anyone, but do it tactfully, right? Like have removable wallpaper so that if you are thinking to sell, you never know what happens. It can like come out nicely, or I guess wallpaper.
Wallpaper, if you're going to get the experienced one that needs the glue application, to be very honest with you, you have to have a skilled contractor who's taking the job on, because some painters may say, hey, yeah, we can install wallpaper. And trust me, in my days, I've seen a lot of people say yes, and they're not being able to match the quality that everybody deserves or what they're paying for. So research a few different people. There's, I think there's a girl who is on my social media who's actually really famous. Her name is Katie Wallpaper. She's a great wallpaper installer, female. She's been on TV, on news channels and everything. I actually met her at my sister's home. So Katie came over to my sister's home because my sister wanted to dress the powder room, because it was a space that all the homeowners' friends visit, and they go into that powder room. So she wanted to kind of create a different look in the powder room. So that's when I met Katie.
Powder room is nice.
It's excellent. I think it's a great way, because the space is always so closed and it's so tiny. You need some sort of item to uplift it. And most of the times people just have it empty. They don't even have a piece of art there. Or if there is a piece of art, there's that generic love, smile, da da da. You know that generic list that
love, smile, family. So you're absolutely right.
Now, wall art, a lot of people think it's just a very simple thing. You go buy a picture, you hang it on a wall. It's if you actually do a little bit more research, it will work great. So first, what I recommend is for them to measure the wall and find out what the middle of the wall would be, and then what size of a picture they would like to have installed. And prior to installing and putting holes in the wall, it's really good to get one of the adhesives or something that's removable, so they don't have to patch up and match the paint colors later on. So they can get some sort of components that can hang the wall art. But I would initially just hold and put the wall art at the bottom on the floor first, just to kind of visualize how it feels and if it really belongs in the room, and make sure it's the right piece, right? That expresses the right personality for yourself.
Yeah. Okay. And what about closet organizers? Because that's like every condo owner's dream. They love closet organizers. I have one, and I know all of my condo owners do have it. It maximizes a lot of space. But any pros and cons to buying one and installing it yourself? Any suggestions on that?
I think it's great. There's one thing that I recommend a lot more than most of the people. They always have shelving, and if you've noticed, the shelvings, they just pile up with more and more clothes, and then it gets a little bit tedious to kind of locate. So if they're going to get organizers, see if you can get more pull-out and drawers in order to make the process a lot easier for yourself, right? So that would be one item that you could put on the bottom, because nobody likes to bend over and go in the back of the shelf and so on to look for that item. So if everything is below your waist, get it into a drawer mechanism that you can do a pull out, so it's easy accessible. And then everything above, you can have some shelving, and sometimes you can even incorporate like double closet rods on some of the areas for your shorter shirts, so you can get more capacity in the smaller space. For homeowners who actually live in a detached home, one good thing that they could do is they can actually get a lot of garage organizers as well, because garage provides a lot of space, and most people do not utilize it and take the efficiency that it could actually provide in a home. So you can actually get some of the shelving that you can put a lot of your big storages in the garage, and it's completely out of your face. So that would be something homeowners can do who have detached homes.
Using your garage kind of like a pantry.
Absolutely.
I know some people
And
who have fridges in their
yep.
garage.
Yeah, that would be what I mean. My mom, there's never enough fridge in our home, but it's a blessing, so it's good.
Yeah, it is a blessing. So for my people with kids, what do you think they should do in terms of creating a play place? Because at this point, I know parents who are calling me saying this kid took over the whole living room. They had their little kid section, and now they've taken over the entire house.
Yep.
And when is school
So
coming back up?
So there's a really good friend of mine. She's actually very popular on the social media. Her social media is called The Naked Mama. And what she does is she does a lot of stories. She lives in Vaughan here. And she does a lot of stories about how for mothers and what to do with the kids. I believe last week, she actually organized the kids' playroom. And her son, I believe, is just about 2 or 3 years old. And I like the fact that you came to this section because for kids, I never knew this until I saw her video, that kids sometimes do not even play with the toy because it's all stacked up on top of each other. So when she actually organized the room and she laid down all the toys, her kid actually started to play with the toys that he never ever touched before. And I never knew that.
I didn't know that either. That's a fun fact. We're gonna drop her IG down below so that we can plug her in because that's
Yep,
a
absolutely.
fun fact.
Yeah, and what she did was she actually tagged where she purchased it. So she got two storages from IKEA, and then she went to Dollarama, bought like these $2 baskets that went right into the open shelving, and she put all his items and all the play cards and everything like that. Then she got all the adhesives for the wall because kids, they love to paint. I don't know what it is, but colors and drawings. I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of homes and kids paperwork everywhere. So you can actually hang all the paint on the walls, and it actually creates a really interesting and exciting area for them to be more and more creative. Because once they walk into the room and they see all the creativity that they have created, it gets them motivated in creating more because they feel like mom is proud of them because she's hanged them on the wall.
Yeah. Oh, that's like a really good way to look at it. I love that. So I also hear that you can buy chalk paint and you can paint an entire
Yes.
wall and just do a chalk paint so that they can have some
Yes.
awkward.
Absolutely. That you can get that whole section, or you can just buy the chalkboard and just install it. Depends on how, what. I guess kids are always growing, so I guess the whole wall would be much better.
I would say the whole wall. I mean, even
Yep.
if you have to put them like make a desk area for them, you can
Hmm.
put a feature for them or
There's also a great thing that she put on her video. So on top of the desk, she actually created a board, like, the cork boards where you can actually use the paper and thumb pins or whatever. So she put all the kids' appointments, doctor appointments, school meetings, and everything like that. So all the meetings are completely always organized for the kid in the play section. So every time she goes in, she organizes everything, stacks all the toys, she puts all the meetings, and this way she can keep a track of all the kids' appointment, activities, groups, social groups, everything that's coming up.
super, super cool.
Yeah.
Because I know that, for example, condo owners, right? Usually, if like I'll sell a condo or rent a condo to a couple who just had a kid, they want a
Yep.
den, right? And so they think that the den is going to be used as a child's play place.
100%.
Yeah,
I've seen so many of them.
the bedroom is a play place, the living room is a play place, the kitchen is a
Yeah.
play place. So if
Yeah.
we can show them how to design this in a way where it's interactive
Yeah.
and kid friendly, the kid will want to go in there. Because so what happens?
Absolutely.
They stop using the den as a kid's play place, and then they start using it as their pantry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
storage.
And when kids see organization from when they're being born and being brought up, like when you study brain, you actually realize that kids, we download all our blueprints for life from the age 3 to the age 7. We actually learn the most at that time, and we create our whole lifestyle based on those years. So in those years, if you're teaching the kid how to be organized, and the room is always organized, the meetings are always scheduled, paperwork, you're actually putting in a lot of great habits and personality, I guess, like characteristics within him or her. And by the time they're older, that's how they will be trained, and they will always look at life that way. So that's just for interior paint, because we discussed exterior paint for the home, like on the door. So just in case a homeowner wants to paint the inside of the home, just one recommendation is in the sheen finishes. So every time you buy paint, you can either get a high gloss, medium gloss, semi-gloss, or flat finish. So if you're not going to come and patch up all your walls, like with all the door, like little holes and dings and stuff on the wall, and you're going to look for an easier process, I recommend going with a flat finish. The flatter the paint finish, the less exposure on the defects of the wall.
Okay.
Because the shinier the wall is, the more defects that show up. But the main part about the flat finish is flat finishes get scuffed up a lot, and they get like all the handprints and everything. So if they're going to go with a flat finish, buy the washable paint, because then you can use the sponge, soap and water, literally clean the wall, and it's easy. So that's one thing I recommend for interior painting. And
that's really good advice, because people don't know that. I didn't even know that. So that's like super good advice. Okay, Shabazz, I want to ask you 5-step process to custom building, just so that we give people a little taste of what they're going to get next week.
Sure. Wait, which process are you interested in?
Custom building.
Custom building. So custom building, I think it's a way easier process as long as you do the research, and once you get educated, which I'm very confident in the upcoming weeks when we share the knowledge, they'll find out how simple it is. So initially, custom building has 2 to 3 different stages. The first stage is finding the property, which will be with the experts such as yourself, where they actually find a lot that is an appreciating lot. So you must have seen that don't be the biggest house on the street being the first one. So you won't normally want to be the 3rd, 4th, 5th person building the home, because by the time you're buying the house and you're the 10th house, you're actually paying the appraised value of all the other homes. So, and don't be the first one going in. And I'm pretty sure you've seen some of those items in real estate. So finding the lot would be number 1. Second is getting an idea of how much the architectural and drawings cost. On an average, when you're building a custom home, somewhere between say 3,500 to 5,500, the architectural plans, drawings, structural engineer, HVAC engineer, electrical engineer, all those components, they normally fall anywhere from 18,000 up to 22,000, 25,000, depending on what it is. That would just be for all your plans approved, drawn, submitted to the city, ready to build. So that's stage 1 is design. And then second component would be building. So building, it gets inexpensive. You don't have to build all the spaces at once. If you want to do a new custom home, you don't need to finish the basement right away. So there's ways to save money and there's ways to invest money. So building a custom home, you can start literally with good finishes. And most of the people, the first question as a custom home builder, what I get asked, hey, I want a custom home. How much is it per square foot? First question right away, all the time. And I know everybody always wants to know the price, because if I was in the shoes, that's the first question I would ask.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. And one thing they would understand is the higher the square footage, it doesn't mean the builder is making more money. It means the higher the quality of the products that will be entering into the home. The better the design, the more storage, the more organization, the better the lighting, the more expensive chandeliers, cabinetry. So there's a lot of different ways to invest the money. And building a custom home, there's a lot of benefits to it, because first, you don't have to go through the headaches of having any renovations coming up in the near future. Nothing, because everything is going to have a warranty. And once everything is custom built, it's built to last, especially with a good builder. So you have no renovation surprises coming up in the next 10, 15 years easy. So that's one thing. And then second, it's a great way to kind of set it exactly to your family needs. And even with younger families, they can incorporate designs that the kids will grow into. And that's something that we love doing, because when we build homes for younger families, sometimes we'll have like younger kids. And we know the kids are going to grow into those rooms, and kids grow fast. So there's a lot of different things that we incorporate, because we know within 2 to 3 years, they're going to be appreciating that room, and they're going to be growing fast, because from a kid to teenage and to a young adult, we go through multiple personality phases, and we all have enjoyed those.
We've all been there.
Yeah, and it's
Personal.
one thing about custom homes is noise. Most of the people, they didn't know, but if you actually get, like, just the interior doors, like solid core doors, as opposed to the hollow core, they reduce so much noise traveling from room to room. Just one little component such as that, then incorporating some soundproofing into the room walls between one another, and using a 5/8 sheet as opposed to a 1/2 inch sheet, you can actually kill so much noise from one room to another.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that is good. So in the upcoming weeks, what we'll do is you will walk me through step 1 to step 10, or however many steps on creating your custom home, right?